Walked in just like any other time. Hollered at Tito and he said he was in the living room. So I walked to the house, walked to the kitchen, and as soon as I hit the living room, I was attacked and I was attacked, put on the floor, and my hands were tied behind my head.
Can I slow you down just for a minute?
You bet.
When you say you were attacked, can you describe what you mean by attack?
I was pushed in the back there, hit in the back of the knees, so I fell down.
Do you know what you were struck with in the knees?
I have no idea.
What was said to you by him during the attack, if you recall?
I get on the ground and not to move. He was tying my hands together, or individually and then together.
Okay. How long of a time was it between you were knocked down and he started tying your hands?
A matter of seconds. It was pretty. As soon as I walked through the door, I was thrown down or knocked down, and my hands were tied.
Okay. Before you got hit and got knocked down, were you able to see into the living room area?
I did, but I seen Tito sit on the couch, but I didn't pay any attention to anybody else in there.
You just saw Tito on the couch?
It was Tito and Tito's girlfriend on the other end of the couch that was in there.
While you were being tied up and you were on the floor, was Tito talking with you?
Yes.
What did he say?
He kept saying, "I thought you said you were going to NARC."
After the 2 or 3 minutes, when Tito was accusing you of being a narc, what happened at that point?
The guy that was in the corner with the rifle, he demanded that for somebody to put a blindfold on me because he didn't want me to be able to look at him anymore or something like that, or I had seen enough, or he didn't want me to see too much or something, or something along those lines. And he started cutting up a thermal shirt that it was gray in color, I remember, because he had squoze my eyes with the first piece, and then the second one he put over my entire face. I was on my knees on the floor, and I had my hands behind my head. He had grabbed my cell phone, and he threw it on the floor, and he started smashing it. And then he rubbed a sharp object up against the back of my arm when it was above my head and said, "You like that? Well, you'll get more of that here in a minute." The kid that was holding my hands had originally tied him and the kid with the gun kept jamming it in my ribs, telling me to walk.
Where did they take you to?
Out to my car. They told me to sit down in the back seat, and they'd walked me up. I put my foot in. I went to crouch down, and they shoved me in. They folded the seat back, and the kid that had my hands sat down in the seat in front of me and told Ivan to drive. And I was trying to count turns to make sure, or I was trying to pay attention to how many turns and how long it took of where we were going, so I kind of had an estimated idea of, I wasn't sure where I was going to end up.
They pulled you out of the car?
Yeah, because my hands were still bound on top. And when I come out of the car, I landed on the ground, face down.
Okay. How far away from the car did they take you?
They did, and it was straight out the door. And shut the door.
Okay. What happened at that point?
They told Ivan to shut the car off. And Ivan come back around, was standing on my ankles, and the kid asked me if I had kids. The kid that tied my hands up asked me if I had kids, and I said yes. And he told me to reach out in front of me like I was reaching for my daughter, and he started whacking at my hands.
Okay, when you say whacking on my hands, what do you mean?
Chopping them up.
Could you feel some sort of weapon that he was using to hit you in the hands?
It sounded like a hatchet to me.
Okay. Do you know how many times he hit you?
I don't know exact number. I just remember feeling blood rush down.
You said that there was someone standing on your ankles at this time?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who that was?
It was Ivan.
How do you know it was Ivan?
It was the only two people that were there.
Could it have been the person who was hitting you that was also standing on your ankles?
No, he was sitting to the right of my head on the ground, kneeling over my arms. There's no way that he could be standing on my ankles because I was sprawled straight up.
Okay. So you're saying you could feel, what could you feel on your arms? Were they pinned?
Well, other than being tied together, yeah, he had hold of one arm and he was just whacking at two of them.
Okay. Did you, what was being said during the time that your hands were being chopped?
This is what you narcs get.
Do you know who said that?
It was a kid that tied my hands together with long hair.
And was he the one that was doing the chopping?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you hear Ivan say anything?
At that point in time, he didn't say nothing.
Okay. Did he say anything later?
No.
I
He
mean,
was told-
immediately after?
No, he
After
didn't.
you were chopped? No.
No, he was told to get in the car.
Okay. Who told him to get in the car?
It was a long-haired.
Did they say anything to you about staying put?
The kid come back and he said I was bleeding profusely out of my right hand, and to use my blindfold, do not remove my face from the dirt for 5 minutes after they leave, but use my blindfold as a tourniquet to cut or to stop the blood flow.
Okay. How long was it after your hands were chopped until they left, until Ivan and the other person left?
It was right away.
How long did you stay on the ground?
Until I couldn't hear the car anymore.
Okay. What'd you do then?
I slowly got up to make sure that there were nowhere around, and then I tried to attempt to pull my blindfold off to get it wrapped around my wrist. And that's when I realized the only fingers I could use were my thumbs.